Welcome to Fantastic Vision. Please subscribe us before you watch today's video. Since 2018, the US government has imposed a series of sanctions and restrictions on China's Huawei, especially in the semiconductor field. The restrictions include banning US companies from supplying key technologies and chips to Huawei, which is a huge challenge for Huawei because it relies on multiple foreign suppliers in its global supply chain. However, this sanctions policy has also caused profound changes and turmoil in the global semiconductor industry. As the world's leading communications equipment supplier, Huawei's leadership in 5G technology and its strong performance in the smartphone market have made it a competitor and security threat in the eyes of the US government. The US government's sanctions are aimed at weakening Huawei's technical capabilities and market position in order to maintain its advantages in the global semiconductor industry. For Huawei, facing the impact of US sanctions, its supply chain has been greatly affected. Although Huawei has been increasing its efforts in independent research and development to reduce its reliance on external supplies, it is still very difficult to achieve complete self-sufficiency in a short period of time. This makes Huawei urgently need to maintain cooperation with leading international semiconductor companies to ensure the normal operation of its business. However, it is against this background that some foreign companies have begun to reconsider their relationship with Huawei and the Chinese market. Companies such as Qualcomm and ASML have announced they will continue to supply Huawei because the Chinese market is critical to their revenue and business. In fact, the Chinese market accounts for an increasing share of the global semiconductor industry and has become a source of profit that cannot be ignored. The rise of the domestic chip industry, facing a once-in-a-lifetime development opportunity. With the rapid development of cloud computing, big data, 5G and other fields, China's demand for chips has increased dramatically. In order to reduce its dependence on foreign technology and chips, China has been increasing its efforts in independent research and development and industrial development. This also provides rare development opportunities for domestic chip companies. At present, China's chip industry has made some important progress. Domestic chip companies have begun to emerge, eroding the share of some foreign chip companies in the domestic market, especially in mature process areas, such as MCU, microcontroller. For example, China's Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corporation, Huawei Semiconductor, and other companies have made certain breakthroughs in process technology and have gradually become on an equal footing with international chip giants. However, despite the rapid development of the domestic chip industry, there is still a certain gap between it and the international leading level. Especially in the field of high-end chips, domestic companies still face challenges in technology, process and equipment. Currently, China is increasing its efforts to develop the semiconductor industry and increasing investment in manufacturing equipment and talent training to enhance independent innovation capabilities and product quality, and strive to narrow the gap with leading international companies. The dilemma of Japanese business, from supplier to prey. On the contrary, some Japanese companies lost their market share in China and became the biggest victims after following the United States supply restrictions. This is a huge challenge for some Japanese companies, because they have performed well in the Chinese market before. Japanese semiconductor companies that once worked closely with Huawei were forced to interrupt their supply relationships with Huawei due to the impact of US sanctions. This has also brought huge losses and pressure on performance decline to enterprises. The dilemma faced by Japanese companies is not only their cooperation with Huawei, but also their relationship with the Chinese market. The Chinese market is a huge source of profits for Japanese companies, especially for some automobile manufacturing, machinery equipment, and consumer goods companies. Since the importance of the Chinese market to Japanese companies is self-evident, they must find other ways to make up for the lack of Huawei cooperation in order to maintain their competitiveness in the Chinese market. Global chip competition, changing opportunities and challenges. Competition in the entire chip industry is intensifying, and domestic chip companies are gradually replacing traditional chip giants. As countries continue to pay more attention to and invest in the chip field, competition in the global chip industry has become increasingly fierce. Countries have increased their support for the semiconductor industry and promoted the transformation of the industry to high-end technology and innovative development. As one of the world's largest markets, China's development prospects and potential cannot be ignored. Taking advantage of the rapid development of the Chinese market, domestic chip companies have gradually replaced traditional chip giants and become a new force in the global chip competition. For domestic chip companies, this competition and change are both opportunities and challenges. On the one hand, the huge demand in the Chinese market provides broad development space for domestic chip companies. On the other hand, this also requires domestic chip companies to continuously increase investment and efforts in technological innovation, process improvement, and market competition to meet more intense international competition. The semiconductor industry is facing unprecedented changes and challenges. Countries around the world have increased investment and support for the semiconductor industry, pushing the industry toward innovative, high-end, green and sustainable development. As one of the largest markets in the world, China has broad prospects for the development of its semiconductor industry. Taking advantage of the opportunities in the Chinese market, domestic chip companies are gradually rising and are expected to achieve greater success in the global semiconductor industry competition. However, in order to remain invincible in the global semiconductor industry, domestic chip companies need to increase independent innovation and improve technology research and development capabilities and process levels. At the same time, we will strengthen industry-university research cooperation, cultivate more high-quality talents, build a complete industrial chain and ecosystem, and accelerate the green transformation and sustainable development of the semiconductor industry. Only in this way can domestic chip companies swim upstream in the global semiconductor industry, base themselves on the international market, and achieve the transformation from prey to hunter.